Welcome to Dungeon Master. You have come just at the nick of time for the ring of the bell, for whom the bell tolls. The bells, yes, we hear them. If you follow the bell, you will get to the end of this dungeon, but it is long ahead for all of us that dare enter Dungeon 81. And if this is no other dungeon to be trifled with, then we may find ourselves along a time continuum that is non-linear. But for now, the non-linear is linear anyway, because it all starts at the harbor. And now that we are looking down upon this beautiful carnivalesque location, I think it's wild, Dungeon Master, for having a celebration at that place with balloons that are just absolutely lifting above the forest. I want to teach you what I can about the coming of the end of all, and it seems like it's longer than 31 dungeons from here, but that is nothing concerning how many dungeons we have behind us. And Dungy, I'm just not as young as I used to be. I mean, you're in a character avatar that's playing this kind of youthful time traveler, and that he's being summoned to explore the world, and his cat video waiting to happen just got missed by a cat hair, but look, we can follow the cat. That's what I'm doing. We put in a name, blah, blah, blah. Character orientation on Dungeon Master 5 if you need to go. If you need to see me in another time, in another dream, in another loop, in another accentuated resonance from where we want to be, to where we need to be, to where we ought to be, to where we're lost within, and that we're in the market again is really making sense, because I have to go to the dungeon soon, but it seems there are too many mini games to be played and to be beaten, and to play and beat a mini game is what we do at the beginning of a game like this. For propel into the future we cannot, until we've played out as much of this carny sequence as we can at the beginning of the tale, to truly curtail what would be spoken against us as insults if we did not get our heal potions and tonics for as much of the gold that we carried from our day one. This is the intro. Everybody's got to go through it. Come on now. Alright, we'll check with press the A button while facing the I didn't quite get all of that, but alright. Hiya! It almost went up all the way. Let's try to. Oh, I can't get it to ring. Anybody got some help? Oh, it rang. It's the bell, I told you. I told you to follow that bell wherever you could. And I don't think you're going to lead me to the right place at the right time, if I had even hoped to frolic the agenda ahead and then try and emphasize what these statements are. Doesn't mean we don't want the better sword, which is going to cost us a lot of gold points. And now we have to say, although it's come a fray, there's something else going on here that I just noticed. Now we're past the carnivals and everything, because this game is all about skipping time. And if we could just skip time to here, why are these puzzles so near, so near? And where do we keep our factory afloat beside the haunted golden note? And I thought, well, if he's walked through there a dozen, wouldn't it trust that everywhere he goes looks nothing at us? And this is the only second castle to the rule of the carnival, to everything we've come down the stairs for. Yes, it's time to do it. The dungeon master smoked a bowl before coming to work today. And know it, the dungeon master could smoke that much of a bowl and encounter a total takeover of Smoky Coffin, yet Dungeon Master is still steering us, a character aside, to all the right places. What do you want? Get out of my face. Well, folks, we've made it through this far of the castle keep and the dungeon near and the dungeon dear. But these guards will never let us in if we do not give them the secret code of getting in. And now we go in anyway. And we look at the calling to what they're saying, not that we can say it as fast as he's clickety-clicking through it. I never said that he was doing a bad job. He's a great dungeoneer. These engineers of dungeoning who take their character sheet with them. And here is an example character sheet, but it's gone down. We've seen several of those in several of the past few dungeons, may I remind? Well, we're going down the stairs as far as we can go. Just run around the king and queen again. No big deal. Head this way up the staircase. You know, if my memories were just latched to this companion piece. Oh, there's a tonic. Every time I go in, it resets the level button. I don't know quite what I'm being reared to be here, but it looks like we've got a fancy time getting through the perils of Chrono Trigger and how it ranks in history to be a befoulment of the forest castle of the dim gird of Avia. Because we've already seen, as we had from earlier pointer scripts, that there are pasts and there are futures. Past in the future. Well, I'm not saying we'll be on King Siam's term forever. Okay, commercial, everyone take pride. Well, let's see what a little bit of this commercial has to say. We only wish the music was more succinct, worked with the music. We must take a commercial for it all. And we hope that YouTube loves us and we love them enough to make them the money in their businesses and support them. We'll make money. And that's a commercial for you. Wow, that held us back from the cat people intervention. You are going strong, Mr. Chrono. Boss battle of destruction in one blow. Hells, yeah. There has not been a level up for Dungeon Master, but Chrono Trigger has seemed to have finally reached its first level, way beyond the expectancy of when it was time to receive level 1 on Chrono Trigger, which actually starts back in the carnival. Carnival, let's go, frog people. Well, thank you. Yes. Oh, Your Highness, as you can see, I'm undamaged. Of course he's undamaged. And he's chasing his treasure chests around. Is he run by an AI source? Probably not. It might have been a game I once played that they recorded backwards to me. Because what you've seen of your own game as you play is never quite the same as what you play in your own seeming game. And I don't want you thinking, well, this is just all gonna be hums and roses. Hums and roses, I say? You aren't even ready for this part of the game. Okay, now we're back to the future. What? Where do I live? The carnival all of a sudden? Come on now, we're way away from that. We went through the kingdom of the forest, man. The kingdom of the freaking forest. And here's my freaking bedroom. We're sleeping, we're getting our health back, we're sleeping, and it's taking us a while to get home, Mom, and you'd never believe the crazy story, gotta go. Alright, we're getting out of Carnival Land, and we're gonna take it to the map. Mark it, here we go. Time to stock up on heal potions, mofo. Let's do this, man. Let's do this, Dungeon Master. What do you think? Oh, I'm with you. I'm just looking at all the things that are available to buy here at the shop at the merchant, yes. And there are weapons to be bought there too. I hope to own one day, but I'll have to kill a lot of crazy monsters to get to own the weapons that do deter me from nothing but continuing along the AD&D path, which is all with Chrono Trigger and all of its animation, Japanese cooperations with Dungeons and Dragons, which there was a version of in Japanese, and it's followed almost as closely in the same context. We'd have to do a study on it now, wouldn't we? Japanese Dungeon Master, I've heard it. Not that I've heard everything, but I'll tell you, it's one thing that I cannot wait to see if it's realistically mounted or if this is what it insinuates. The role-playing game in the Dungeons and Dragons matter completely. In the time of Squaresoft, and in Squaresoft and in Square anything, they lend a credence to Adventures in Dungeons and Dragons files role-playing game market, because that's the role-playing game of everyone's conniving, and that the Japanese do it oh so intentionally well. It's oh so practical. As now we see the map leading the characters to the wrong direction, and they had gone out to see a long way passage, and now they're entering back through the Roggy Woods, and they're going amidst the Roggy Woods to come out in tandem with their escape pods and their cruiser ships, and now they've been stuck in the craggy wood for too long to really see which way to turn, and the way to the dispensary is near, but that there's still bugs to fight is something I'm coming after here. And I don't want to say that this cautionary tale needs another boss, but there is something looming back there in the corner that looks like a lizard person, and that is going to take care of its bat venom and all of the things that were perturbing us about the beginnings of a dream gone by and a yesteryear so perfectly grounded in playing only video games all day, and having had the row of video games of a marathon, have we? Has Dungeon Master reached the marathon of games that it honestly would without Chrono Trigger? You know, the one where he goes through time and finds all those people and takes them back to his house, and they have cereal and pancakes, and they live all in Carnival Town. I don't know, they were all stuck in the castle. Castle, we're stuck in the castle, and we're gonna be stuck in the castle all day long. Castle, we're stuck in a castle. I can't get out of the castle, Chrono Trigger. And something leads everyone to being Chrono Trigger happy, but except me, who's not going to perish in this facade, suiting only the nebbish of the undergods, who is among those of pride and wealth, and the commercial here is more detailed to that, and that we see all the raging symbols of wonderful people that have done nice things to their community in time. And I couldn't really unhinge where those commercials had deeply buried me. but that we're at a scene in focus, so much so, of what I thought would go on with the time machine. That is what it is in a chrono, a trigger. And that they're fighting over the time machine makes perfect sense, because if I was in a time machine this early on in the game, and I was fighting for a time machine this early on in the game, I'd knock down some walls with my magic spells, bro. I'd knock down some walls with my magic spell. I mean, you got like 5 balls in front of you, and you're trying to get enough internet to go on back and forth to the future and the past. Just because the internet gets you back and forth from the future to the past, you have to thank it every day. Thank you. You got me from the forward to the past. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. You're always helping us out. And we're hearing like the Lost Avengers back there. Those guys they're really singing like some tales of like me chomping down the heads of some rutabagas. And I'd bite the stem off the oregano if I had to. I'd go a diet of vegetables entirely if I could get just that, but I don't got to, because cheese is kind of not a vegetable, and I like that too. So hang on. We're going to get really into this diet and realize that who eats every kind of thing, if it's good. I don't know, it's just, when you think about it, when it's made for you, you know it's going to be determinedly good. Alright? We have to go to Stereo Land to fix a problem. We have to fix the problem with Prop Land, and Stereo Land had a combustion where somehow the timer got dragged through. And it's still dragging through. The hand has removed its symbol from anything else but the music of the nectar of the pageless. That is what we needed, was some kind of a broadcast of where we were at the actual point of the music marathon. And the video game marathon must go on in Dungeon Master. You know, you have to prove you've seen all of this, and that takes away a big mystery of us missing that point. And I'm not rewinding it right here. This is too much into the game to even dream of going back and looking at what all we've seen in the paradigm of the time machine, and that is where we are settled now, is deep within the time machine looms the conscious narrator of the game in which frivolous mounts have deployed us to Stereo Land to take care of that raspy sound coming through the breaker, as though it were the screaming of an organization that should have gotten ready for its own recovery in the evincing of its dismay as a medium when it was falling apart at the time which it passed through. Only Chrono Trigger can bring up those kind of personal memories about a song I once created, or a ditty that the great bard that we haven't heard from in months or even year, the bard that used to play with even Youngblood in his minstrelsy days, long before he was hauled off this planet to be an intergalactic warlord of another galaxy somewhere else. That's not what Chrono Trigger goes and finds out with the robot. I'm giving too much away. But look, before me you see a time machine with many sages and many brothers that are actually at an arena of whether you are. This is the courtroom. This is the Chrono Trigger courtroom, where I hope you all vote not guilty. Because if you don't, and I'm found guilty, I will invariably come down on the fact that I haven't been reading all the subtitles the past way. And if I don't read the subtitles fast enough in Chrono Trigger, I won't know what's going on. So, I count on you at home to have read all of the things they've said, even though We're kind of pinpointing through it because I don't know what it says. I just realized I was in court. Can anybody get me off here, Chancellor? Events in town, anything get me off? We're leaving. That sounds good to me. Well, I'll be right behind you. We gotta get our asses out of here, man, before we get him handed to us, man. Let's go. Oh, crap, dude. All right. I know this is a long stairwell down, but I'd recognize this dungeon anywhere. It's from Dungeon Master 81. Wait, this is Dungeon Master 81. Okay, I just had to get straight on a few things. Can I go through here? Is that a guy I buy high potions from? Should I even go over there? Are you the monster that has made me? Oh, I don't know if I should sing that right here. We might be in some kind of a time loop suspicion if we're not doing something right now. So maybe, guards coming in the room. Yeah, it looked like we were just innocuously idle right there. Now we gotta fight these guys, and he fell dead, and Okay, we touched the timeline. We got a commercial. No problem, commercial. Now, I figure if we lift this to about here. Now, this is almost the end of that whole castle sequence. And I don't know how we got here, but plunge on, boys. This is really scary, you guys. This is like the Ghostbusters level. I don't know if we're ready for this. It seems like we're in the haunted sewers of Escalante's last byway through the mountain. I mean, there's no telling where King Tut lives in honor of this kind of a crib. But that there's mysterious coins on the ground make me wonder even more if we're in the past or future. This must be that Jedi mode of the future, where it's like all industrial and shit, isn't it? Because we're in the sewer in the future. I thought it'd be better than this in the future. Not much to look forward to, is there, boys? Being that the future being kind of crappy and all now. Well, if this is the future, I guess we gotta, say that's what it's gonna be. Walking through a sewer looking weird ship shapes with two checks. And they made it to the other side of Greenland, and we love where we live. It's just so far in the future that we're not used to these futuristic surroundings of everything run by industry in sight. We're in a giant factory. I mean, of course it's industry if it's factories. Factorialization of the industrialization of the factories. Yes, I know what you mean. It's where the whole agenda comes from, and I swear if I can't cross this bridge now, I'm stuck in Ghostland. I'm really stuck in Ghostland. Are you kidding me? I gotta find my way through this maze again. If you didn't follow me the first time, then you might not make it the second time, and all we need to do is go through here on a whim that it gets us to where we need to go, but does I don't know, we kind of end up here and end up in the same boat. Unless we did switch a switch. Oh, so grasping. I think we're stuck in a maze. I think I've led us right to the post-apocalyptic realm of Dungeon Master, and all I want is to seize time and make it journey to another day, make it journey to the future so far that we're coming in from the past. See, this is what I needed for Dungeon Master, was this boss battle, because this justifies everything. Oh, he torched him with a spin cut. Boom, 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 boom. Didn't kill him yet. He is screaming. Blisters you with the fire. This was the boss battle raging on that we needed in Chrono Trigger to get morale back up again. We were stuck in that futuristic maze. Now look at this. We're battling the Skull Man. Take him out. If he's the Skull Man, we can defeat the Skull Man all at once. You Skullmen shall not pass. Oh, I'm kicking the Skullman's ass. Oh, I can steal a bridge. How I fight you. What are you gonna do? I better high potion up, everybody. Whoa. Oh, well, he knocked us all to dead, unless he missed us all instead. She's got a shield, and it clashed back with him, and it looks like Dungeon Master in the game have it in the fix that they're going to defeat this giant skeleton man, and all they need is one execution of the smaller part. Unless Skeletor Man is defeated, no one gains a level up in Dungeon Master, but they get to see a Threshold Guardian like Skullman taken down. And I was kind of hoping Skullman would show more brevity, would show less brevity than that. But sometimes you can't get these boss battles to last forever unless you find them in the midst of everything. And now we're updating our character sheet and all that, and I hope we're all happy, because we've got a long way to go. I got you set up for that. I thought we're all ready. We'll see how far we can go. And then, of course, everyone's talking about this Magus guy, this Magus that we're supposed to meet in Zion. And he's the leader of some rebellion of these Kabbalists, and that they're somehow Albigensians. And I don't know. There's this whole Knight Templar episode that goes back to like even Dracula. And I don't think Dracula's in this game, but I've seen some vampish creatures in some forms of history. And for instance, my mom, she's not a vampish creature in history. I don't really look at her that way, but she's always there when I'm time traveling, either old or young, so we just come to her at different times. We're old or young because we don't really know how that's going to match with time traveling, although we're all little kids no matter what time we're in, I guess, because look at us. I mean, does it look like we're like these oldie olds? We're like teenagers, basically, time traveling. The teenagers time traveling. But in Japan, they've had time traveling a lot longer, so they're able to time travel easier, and I think that's an okay assessment to put them in par with. That's because they've had video games longer, and everybody knows video games is time traveling. Yeah, wherever you time travel to play the next round of Chrono Trigger. Where were you? In Chrono Trigger Land? Or were you at the market because you beat a boss battle, you needed your tonic, yeah, let's go, Chrono Trigger, let's go. Alright. So this next point of overview leads me to think you haven't solved all the things there are to solve in even half of the game of Chrono Trigger. So why would you not trek back to see where you must go in terms of where we're supposed to be according to the map? And I haven't been able to navigate this town as much as I would like, so I'm cutting across to a little ways ahead where we will be in a commercial, of course. This is going to make some money for them if it's the last thing we do, right? We make money for all the sponsors that we go through, and they rank us whether we get to use the forbidden contextual footage of what is sooner or later to be in the mighty game at the mighty hands of the mighty spectator. The Chrono Trigger of ages, the game that started all the RPGs named Chrono onward, and were made for Squaresoft, and Chrono Cross was the most complicated one for the PlayStation, and that the Nintendo had its own version. It is even more paltry to say that this is also the Super Nintendo version, as so many of these games have been, not to pirate it at all. Bootleg it will only, for the sake of the mirror lamp, sees this out the frame, and that it happens to look a lot like the game, and that we've got parts in here, decent parts in here, story parts in here, Muri and parts of Himori, and I think it's all okay because we have to say Dungeon Master to the end. Dungeon Master to the end. We will be to the end with Dungeon Master. As long as he's around, we'll see the smiles on every town. We'll take the brightness as it comes for a holiday to relax us in these monster battles we know are overbearing onto our team and could be hard on the character status of each of our players if we had to fight battles like against these monsters all the time. And that it's launching strange energies at me, and that wasn't the monster, that was the underbrush of just the scenery, and now they fight monsters again. Only is it right to fight through a slew of monsters when that's really what's propelling this point in the game? And I'd say that we could take on another 20 or so few of these monster battles and just keep going and going with it, and I think we should. But whatever I think or not, they're putting us right here in the devastating dark town of Darkton. And now that you're in Darkton, we'll really be stuck in a maze, because I don't really think they're going to complete this maze anytime soon. But it's a dungeon in there, is it not? Now that's one hell of a dungeon, folks. Out of all the dungeons I've seen in the last 100 dungeons or whatever it's been, and these 111 dungeons coming, and all of these dungeon masterings being superseded, this is the nastiest dungeon of them all. Not with the nastiest monsters, we get hit on that with Final Fantasy, believe it to square. But this is the nastiest dungeon since that sewer from the future. And are we supposed to see these guys time travel? What was it, just in court that they can trick us with time travel? Have we missed all the events? Oh, he's saving data, everyone look away. To Soundland we go. Oh, we recorded it. Well, we're hoping most of them just ignored that was a saving of data, because we must have this boss battle in curing. Threshold Guardian approaching. Now we play Chrono Trigger. Boss battle, file 1. Boss battle. Oh, he's been blown to smoke. Oh, she had a powerful impact on him. Well, isn't he gonna throw lightning and get it to burst? Now this guy's got a fight between battles. He smacked her up, but she's okay. Get him, Tiger. Whoa. How did he do that? And that was barely any damage. What did you equip that dude? Equip him with the ice sword or the fire world, the ice sword. Okay, the antipode, maybe. I don't know. What are you trying to do here? Come on, we've got to beat this guy before he... Oh, this'll take him out. That he's more powerful than we had foreseen. And he's knocking us left and right. Oh, that's gonna leave a Yankee scar. And he's almost dead, but he's not. He's gonna throw an attack every time you do. I think we all need tonic, but you could use it the most, yes. Oh, he needed that tonic, bro. This is a crazy boss battle. Are we really stuck in this boss battle? How long have we been here, sir? This is a long boss. Keep it coming, keep it coming. We gotta get through the boss battle and then send you guys on a Lord of the Rings mission. You're gonna love it. You have to go 20 minutes further in the future of the game, which is about 1,000 years into the past for everybody else. And I don't think that 1,000 years into the past is going to take you to the one that started it all, right? The long hours of homework spent to get to play Chrono Trigger, I do not dare ever take thunder. The long hours I've spent on homework getting done to play Chrono Trigger and beat this exact beast was not how it was going to easily go down. But one day we'd chisel away at this man's grasp. of livelihood. Oh, the boss battle almost makes me want to give you levels up if we get through it. But, I think really, okay, if you can beat this boss, you can have a level up. So now Dungeon Master's really into it. Because I've just bribed him to become on level 73. He's on mission 81. I mean, is he going to get to 99? Is there an instant fight with a Chimera, and not the good Chimera that we have been informed that there's good Chimera? And it can be a pet of all soothing behaviors, or a gargoyle of all protective wages. But if you think for 1 minute we're going to brand out the chimeras as only bad, well, we all know there are beast monsters that have clangy talons that are really nice people and don't rip everyone to shreds. Well, this guy's going to rip us all to shreds if we're not careful. Dutch, you got a potion? I've got a potion. I've got a potion. Okay, pay attention. We're right down in the depth of the wild of it all. And you ain't gonna believe what we're gonna throw at this guy. Because he's just sitting there like, oh, we've counterattacked Greg. Yeah, well, I don't see it happening. I guess we're gonna counterattack. Boom! She hits him again. Yeah, blow that up. Oh, we finally beat the boss battle. I can't believe it, did we? If only the great Magus brought you forth flowers 400 years ago. So what are you saying? We beat this dungeon and beat that dude, and we get treasure, and we can go back to the future, and I can get a good rest at the carnival town, and if we go to the Middle Ages, all bets are off, and the Middle Ages are just a bit away, and we can all go there, and we can stay in the same spot where we just beat the guy and hang out and talk about the fairgrounds, and let's do this. Time machining is not for wimps, yo. It's only us for those that never limp away. Oh, we got into go to the time pool. I told you we'd be close to Fairy Town in my ground, my hound. Man, that was not only the most notorious trip I've ever had, but I can't wait to tell all these guys that live in Luca's tower. Luca, Taban, Laura, I know it's a really confusing to keep everybody's track of names now. Come on, let's go talk about our names downstairs. Before I go, I just want to say that was a really hard mission, us memorizing each other's names and forgetting them. But whatever, let's go in here. I mean, every time I play a Dungeon Master, it's new guys at the table, and it's the same old Dungeon Master. Every time out, and he's got to play 100 Dungeon Masters. Level up to everyone playing Dungeon Master for the Threshold Guardian we all faced in the dungeon of the worst dungeons. And that he was a bit craggy and towerless and almost spanked me out a couple times. We did take down the beast of the dungeon, and it did take us to our water port next to where we live, which makes me wonder if I should buy a bunch of tonics at the market and load up on them. Load up, brother, mystery tour is waiting to take you away. Is waiting to take you away, take you today. Other side of the dungeon type preparation that we're always dealing with. Do you think it would be appropriate to look forward in our future and see where we may avail again? We can see that. Wait, we beat this guy already. Come on, we're up here. Maybe there was another one. Maybe there was a commercial waiting behind every jump. The jump we have to see this. The frog people stirring and dancing and causing consequences. I know this has got that Hell's Gone to Frog Town type look to it all. But that they were dashed out the frog people so far. doesn't mean they don't have a bunch of battles with them headlong. Oh, they're getting back up. This is really the most apocalyptic thing I've ever seen about the future, and the past getting humbugged in some kind of future past dimension of them both, which the evolution has changed of mankind because of the meddlement with the past and the future. And the past and the future are total meddlement of themselves, and that is destroying me from the interior out. I feel it's just too much for me to deal with. I feel that the emmeddlement of us all, defeating the frog people would have never worked if it weren't for ways of joining us. If you were in the cave land, and this was way back in the past, and she likes him, but do they like each other? She seems to be part of the story now. Can we not fly on? And indeed, we will forget your name immediately, and we must all sail on in context of what we know of this Icelandic conspiracy of comparisons to the norm of where we need to go with life. And hang on, I'm going to let this run automatic for a second. Well, that's about as stall as I can make it for now, but I want to show you something that you haven't seen. This is the compartment. No, this is back to our cherry house. This is what we're looking for. This could be a dungeon much worse than the previous dungeon we have come upon of any kind. And we enter this dungeon's lair with a surety that it's a castle keep dungeon like we've never seen before, and has vampire bats trickling off of in the hugeness of its resonance. We do think that thou should be our acceptance into... We're going in! Dungeon Master 81 says, abandon all hope, ye who enter here, folks, but we're going in. We're going in. I know this music's kind of existential too, so it kind of makes it even better. I got an ether. This is a really good game. Hey guys, did you see how much fun I'm having playing this game? The frog is a good guy, and we got him from the past where all frogs were evil. And then that girl that's from the present's always been with us, so we can switch between party members. And we named them all and forgot all their names because there's so many, and we've been keeping track of so many things. And then this guy keeps jumping us to the future forward, but now we're just got in Magus Castle, and it's like the sense of doom is even less than usual in Dungeon Master, but it's still here. It's like the level that can't be completed. I mean, these are levels that can't be completed, and they look like they're taking a fair response from being gone through the level of these monsters and midterms, and everything catches up to this long symphony of what we have in front of us and what we don't have in front of us. And we keep telling everyone, look, it'll be a few more minutes, but we know it'll be more than a few more minutes. Because what can separate us from a royal perfect way to devise the information inside this castle is to say, maybe go as far as we can through it as we can, because this dungeon's going to be pretty rotten, and we got a long ass ways to go. I mean, there's bats in here, and this bat just landed in front of me. And you think I'm going to give up easy, but I know everything look alike, but I don't got a map. But see, this normally doesn't happen. Get around them, man. Get around them. I think if you look really carefully closer in, you can see the meticulous detail that's been done to the characters, even by just seeing them in their wildly close-up form. And that wildly close-up, they look extra special. Do they know what those are about? And when they look extra special, we can take them through these rugged adventures where hustlers dare in only the magnitude of what we owe YouTube and its rights and licenses and all its rights and licenses. We love YouTube for and we worship at the God of YouTube. But we're saying that we must do something with Crikey Stereoland before we end it with the special scenario that we must be viewing here a little bit, only to tramp down what's going to happen in Stereoland, which is a total reversal of playing the exact symphony of time proponent. And we will hear a train, and we didn't miss much in the shaky mirror lamp world outside the submarine, outside where we're flowing through outer space. And this is what's showing. Now, this does go to outer space, and I told you this train was loud. It would almost make me go back to Stereo Land and adjust some additions with it, but I guess we're trampled over by the train while this scenography is on at the time. I don't think that that's going to be too big of a problem, except there's a train right outside. Yeah, it's going by. I know it's got a point to this Dungeon Master being longer than its own soundtrack, which has enveloped us to around 2 of the soundtrack, though we may not get the melody bouncing in our encouragement for all the things that have somehow got wandered and trapped into the medium of some other adventure. And I am not trying to say that there was anything that would have gone wrong. It was not that, for we've already used it in our statement of the outer catch of all things volleyed towards us and predicaments of where can we play this movie for fair screening, because it is a movie of extra recourse and extra knowledge and extra doing. And they're the skeleton people that we could fight, but we need not until we get here to... What is she seeing? Why is she stuck? Where is she going? Why are the skeleton people saying that they're everywhere? And will we challenge them? Yes, we will. And now we're going to challenge the skeleton people so that we can find a greater place to be, so that we can find a greater land, a greater causality, a greater skip player, a greater... Well, we know it's time to kick some ass against some skeletons. That's what we learned about all of this. And if we do just that, I'd say we'd had it about a dungeon, hadn't we? Still in Magus's castle, and I knew this guy Magus. They were talking about him for years. And he had controlled the time waves of time control, and time travel was all organized by him so that skeleton people would come and build a giant castle, and they would all vamp out against these type of world travelers that are from Carnival Town that just want to save the world from bad vibes like demons and shiznit. As if we could feed them back under the bad vibes of all that. What do you make of it, Dungeon Master? I don't know. I've had several thoughts about the whole thing. It just seems like now they're fighting Magus himself, and I don't know if that's him or if that's not, and if it's not, it's another henchman. And the henchman strand is always strong on these kind of locales and what plays in obvious accordance with the details is not always up for us to design or decide or anything, but for us to show in comfort that it counts as a film. We can assure you, Dungeon Master, come on now, that you love YouTube the most and you'll be fine. Don't do anything against YouTube, which you never would. Always praise the word YouTube wherever you go, and keep YouTube under contact with your thanks and praise at all times, as they let us do anything, or do not let us, or what they have done to help us, and what they have done to help us even more. And we should always know that when fighting a strong boss like this, we know somewhere on the end of the YouTube, oh, he just cured us all. What a cure that was. Now Frog Boys taking out a recipe on this. Another boss battle. I can't believe it's been going on. It's a Threshold Guardian battle. And we're going to do an obligatory game hop. Not quite that far. Now, we're going to encounter two things at once. A little bit of commercial action, yes, there. And now it's time to be kind of, what did you say? That we're having some fright, some stage fright. Not exactly stage fright, but cultural pollution problems. See, we're culturally shocked. We're in culture shock. I mean, even if this is supposed to be the future of the past, does this look like another boss battle to you? And how'd we get all the way a million years in the future anyway? And how are we getting to see this part of Chrono Trigger that most people don't see? The parts at the end that confuse everybody about the game. And that's the parts at the end that confuse everybody about the game, is that you have to go so far into the future that you're on the other end of the freaking universe, preventing the universe to end. And now that's different in Funland, because now you're fighting bosses like each other, and you're having monster robot battles. Monster robot battles, monster robot battles. Can we have another monster robot battle? I don't know what the meaning of it all is with Chrono Trigger, but the robot battles of it all brought me to a higher point of escalation, to my own soul and resort of my own dignity of effort. I had to have the robot monster battles of my premier decency, which was going to hurt both my side and the side that I had to take precedence over to even be achieving within Chrono Trigger. And I'm not trying to knock this out of display or anything, but you know, we show you for a time and you see the screen time and it shows you secrets of the game, but then no secrets are given away, and it was so fun. We're 2/3 farther than we were when we were just at some other juncture in the game, like Magus Castle. Like, why wasn't Magus Castle shown all the way through when we had so much a bargaining chip just to see the close to ending? Well, that's what I think of y'all. You're back in Magus's castle, or an even worse castle, or an even worse castle, or an even fortress of a castle, of a dungeon castle. Everybody's confused. It's practically the end of the game. You can see down here on the bar that we're only moments away. Well, it's more like 2 hours, but come on, stay with me. That was somewhere in a castle. It's totally on everybody's mind. So we're leaving the castle. We're just going outside where you can see everything inside. But now, if we go back in, this will really cause a lot of problems, because now we need to go down the left-way hall and get it at the staircase again. Now, I'm going down and up the stairs. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Oh, wait, there's important things called we need to rest, because we keep fighting the bad guy, and you saw us in all the other clips, man. I don't know what to do. Just go around you for hours or click further ahead. Oh, wow. That must have been one heck of a boss battle. I'm kind of glad we missed that one. It was kind of a rough one. But we got a couple of things going on with our game, and we're all set. What do you think, boys? Should we go even further down the line and get a kicker in here? Well, I don't know how Magus even joined, but if you want to see some weird shiznit about this game, watch this. I won't even really... Well, I've got to announce that we're in a parallel to illusion, parallel universe, yes. That you're imagining this whole very scene, and that I can ride it close enough to hear to victory. But one thing about this boss battle is that since you did, in fact, go through with the very ending of that boss battle, we must put you in another form of sky waving. And this is while we're still in the dungeon, to learn the technique of chrono trigger, and all of its techniques are being used at this moment. A mutant destroyed, where we must take it to its lowest point. Oh, we have destroyed the beast again. Let us go on to our dreaming point of saving the world. That isn't quite what I meant by save it till the end of the world, boys. You have been listening to Dungeon Master 81. We just want you to know that Dungeon Master was written and directed by Aaron Sheely. He also does all the voices and comes up with it improv every time. But he knows it's not all improv, most of it's keeping track on his chart, and we're watching Chrono Trigger beat the game again and again. This isn't even close to the end. I mean, we could go on for hours. You know, we could go back and read the whole game we missed, which is half the game, if even less, if even more. And now what is it, Beastie Tingly side of Australia guy we gotta fight all of a sudden because there's like some dude in the way? And we're flying down the good old way. The good old times will have focused right on the screen, right boys? Right boys and girls? Like we didn't have enough time just on the screen. You and me, some time with the screen. Mirror lamp, being pushed in, being pushed out, being pushed over. Being used as a lens for where we've been today's, tomorrow's. For Count Escape with me, the Rune mission. And belong with me interscaping with some other internet that always runs to feature us along, which we thank our internet support team for all that, and that Aaron manages some of that is another level that we give to him, who has gotten us now through Dungeon Master 81, thanks to YouTube creators and Masterclass and all that. But will we see the other side to be of what the Wizards of the Coast are going to demand from us in the end? Which is places we've tried to go on the map even recently that were bummed from the map from us. But we figure that we've gone so far on these boss battles with Chrono Trigger that it's really left us learning in spades about how to get through the last few issues with Magus Castle that we're already floating in the sky to see the full game. But oh, would you love it if you could see it floating through the sky? That's one of the last battles of the game, man. And they're toasting him. They're toasting him. Robot, demon, ghost thing, and I think they just beat him. Nope, they're going to, though. She's making him rise from the dead. This is beautiful. It's poetry in motion. It's like seeing a video game unravel like a movie while it's being interacted with. And that's what these adventures are like. You have these avatars that represents how much your health and wealth is as you go along the game. And most of these dungeon masters are on level 81. They're on level 73, so they're on level 73 or 74. And then suddenly they get through to the secrets of the very last moment of every dungeon master. Even if it means seeing things out of sequence twice in a row and nonsensical, and sometimes not in the order you would have picked. Sometimes Dungeon Master gets confused. To be Dungeon Master occasionally, but we're one of the best Dungeon Masters even in the guild. So we're coming through. Alright, it looks like we'll be able to land on the Rock of 82 next, but the Rock of 81 is joining us now. Welcome next time to Dungeon Master. Dun 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 dun.